We're super excited to be here at Krieger Elementary School, where the principal is Mr. Noto. And we're going to kick off our meeting for this evening by standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. And I'm looking for a young person. I know that there's some that are presenting. There was another one with do we have a young person that's not presenting?
She's in the back row.
That we can bring forward to do the Pledge of Allegiance? Mr. Noto?
Oh, look at her.
Okay. Oh. Can we give them the microphone?
Thank you. Thank you.
First of all, tell us your name.
Dolly.
And what grade are you in?
Fifth.
Excellent, wonderful. Okay, you're going to lead us out?
First grade. To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, keep up. Okay. Can you give over here, sweetie? Let's give them a hand. Woo! Yes. Poughkeepsie's finest. At this time, we're going to open the floor for citizens' comments. Do we have a screen? We don't have a screen. Oh, I just realized that.
Yeah, he's coming.
Oh, he's coming with the screen? It's okay. We're going to, many of you have been coming to these meetings for a while, so we're going to refer to Policy 2370, which means that you are to be nice. Remember, there's young people here. We inspect what we expect. We cannot hold them accountable via code of conduct for behavior, and then we ourselves as adults violate that. You have 33 minutes. You are to state your name and your address when you come to the microphone, and know that this board and this superintendent takes your comments very seriously. I'm going to reiterate. We are to be nice. We are to be respectful. There's nothing greater than showing respect. We can do things decently and in order and getting our points across. So thank you also very much for being respectful, one, of District Policy 2370, as well as inspecting what you expect, especially in front of these babies. Thank you.
Good evening, Madam President.
Good evening.
Members of the board, Dr. Superintendent, Gully Stanford, 181 Marshall, and I have actually things to celebrate, so this is going to be nice, and it is going to be respectful. And although I can't see the countdown to 3 minutes, I know somebody is going to tell me when the time comes up. I have 3 short announcements. The second week of November is a big week for the youth of Dutchess County, and particularly the youth of the Poughkeepsie City Schools, because this is the week in which Dutchess celebrates the fact that unlike most counties in the nation, we have our own college fairs, totally free and open to the public. One put on by the Artifact is called Portfolio Day. And this is where students who are interested in the graphic arts, photography, sculpture, painting, design, they can go there and they can talk to, and you can see I've actually taken the liberty of setting in your place a couple of these flyers. They can actually talk to the representatives of these colleges. Very different from that kind of cattle fair where you go to just a general college fair. This is specifically for students who have interest in the visual and our creative arts students, and we have many of them. I just saw Lamar Wint graduated. He's over at the Trolley Barn this evening, and he is being celebrated as a videographer at a Go Poughkeepsie anyway, event
Go PK.
that's going on over there.
PK Go.
Secondly, on Sunday, for the performing arts people, brought to us by Stringendo Music, and Gabriella Fryer was the one who started this some years ago. Now our students are interested in dance or in music or in theater or in film. They can go and talk to specialists from the colleges where they can exercise their talents. So we do hope you'll encourage principals to share this with students and the art teachers throughout the district, and if possible, sneak them onto the wonderful website that I check every morning to see what's happening. And then finally, just a respectful update to both you, Madam President, and the Superintendent. As you know, you are both ex officio members of the Poughkeepsie Public Schools Foundation Board. We're delighted that Vice Chair Long Vice President Long has been able to attend, and so now I'm just letting you know, and maybe Ms. Torres will hear this too, that our next meeting is indeed next Tuesday, the 12th of November, 5:30 in the evening, and it's going to be at the Poughkeepsie Partnership, the same building, Trustee Long, same room as we were in last time. And we're very excited. We have put out invitations to many people, some of them who are in the room here today, representative of the PTAs and so forth. We think we're going to build a very strong alliance who will then go out and raise money to help the work of the Poughkeepsie Public Schools. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Mr. Stanford, one more thing. So you said that the meeting is going to be at the Family Partnership Center?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Room
5:30.
101.
5:30.
And of course, we absolutely recognize, Dr. Rosser, that you have many, many calls on your time, and I'm delighted to see you're still mobile. I hope the recovery is going well. I will add, because I have one more second, Dr. Rosser was at a fireside chat this past Saturday morning at 10 o'clock in the morning. He was on his feet for 2 hours.
His foot.
Interacting with, listening to, and inspiring the community. And I am so, you talk about walking the walk, with all due respect, sorry about the metaphor, but I would have to say, Madam President, you were ably represented. Your superintendent really showed us how to conquer adversity and to come and inspire the people who had the privilege of meeting with them. So we hope you're well on the road to recovery.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mrs. Stanford, so very much for those words and for keeping us abreast of things that are going on within the community. You rock. If no one told you that this evening, you rock. That's a note to be taken. Good evening.
Ron Rivers, 1 Oakwood Boulevard, City of Poughkeepsie. 4 weeks ago, I stood at a microphone and expressed my dismay at there being no teacher for Spanish 1 at the high school. I was assured of efforts to secure a teacher for Spanish 1. But it seems to me the problem is not that we don't have a teacher for the students. The problem is we have 100 students, 9th graders, sitting in a room for 90 minutes every other day doing nothing. So what is Plan B? It seems to me that we could be letting a golden opportunity slip away. If we can't find a teacher for the course that we have, let's find a curriculum for the students we do have. Option 1. If the issue is learning Spanish, and then there are other ways to learn languages. There are many computer-driven language systems out there. I don't know the best one,
We need to stop.
but I bet.
Excuse me, Mr. Rivers, 1 second, please. Do we need the screen for anything that we're doing? We do, okay. Well, can we hold off with it until the individuals speak? Thank you so very much. Mr. Rivers?
Okay, thank you. I don't know the best one, but you have language teachers in-house that know.
And can you speak into the microphone? It's being taped, please, sir.
Okay, I'll start again.
Yes.
But I don't know the best program, but if we do have language teachers in the house that know of resources. With the narrative that we've got students in an underachieving, poor district that can't meet staffing needs, maybe you could find a company willing to train or assist someone willing to add 100 site licenses for the use of their program. Maybe Rosetta Stone, I don't know. Option 2, create a civics class to learn how the country is supposed to operate, to learn their role in a functioning society. Option 3, find teachers in the system already that can create interest-level courses. I'm not sure of the logistics, but extra compensation with staff getting to try things they've instituted on their interest might be good for everyone. Maybe even a superintendent's conference day where the staff could brainstorm possibilities. 4, develop a curriculum study based on some of the Ken Burns documentaries. He's got a wide range of documentaries, everything from baseball and sports to historical items and the Dust Bowl and things like that. Have kids go through that, find something interesting, maybe expand on it, do their own report or such, following up on that. Option 5, and this is the one I really like. Have a teacher work with students developing their own courses of study, maybe even independent study for some that those that can. Have them find serious things to study with sound educational standards for presentation. Give 3/4 credit for the course, 1/4 credit for presentation, art project, or some other form of presentation at the end. Since we can't run a full semester course right now because 1/4 is gone already. Right now, we have 100 ninth graders thinking that school is a waste of time for at least an hour and a half. It is not the message you want to tell them. Instead, apologize to them. Tell them we've come up with something special. Can you imagine if we spent some time showing these students how they could empower themselves to succeed, pursuing something they chose? Can you imagine how that might improve their chances of graduating? These are some ideas from one person, a grandparent that would love to be part of the discussion as what we can do to make this an opportunity and not a problem. We don't have a process for making something like this happen. There's no way, there's no built-in structure to try to make things like this happen. But I've been around education long enough to know that anything is possible if you can find the drive, enthusiasm, willingness, and resources to make it happen. The bottom line is we have nothing to lose. And then when I'm sitting here and I get this flyer from Gully, I'm thinking to myself, that's another resource. I think any class like this should include a trip to Marist, a trip to Vassar, a trip to BOCES, a trip to some sort of a training center. We've got to get these especially ninth graders, we've got to get them vested in learning. And if we can find a way to hook them with that, I think we'll go a long way for solving a lot of our other problems down the line. And I'd be willing to be part of a discussion on this. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. We're going to turn it over to Dr. Rosser for some comments specific to that.
Thank you very much, sir, and I appreciate the creativity that you put into coming up with solutions for a very real problem that we do have at the high school. I will share with you that great minds think alike. So the team has been really engaged in looking at ways in which, particularly for some of the classes in which we do not have a permanent teacher, for us to be able to make sure that those students still have access to quality instruction. And in fact, as it relates to the Spanish class, we do have 2 recommendations that will be brought forward this evening to be able to fill the gap, although it may be temporarily, but be able to fill the gap that's currently there. In addition to some of your comments around getting engaging our students so that they're part of the solution, as well as our community and parents, we have put together what we call a survey that is made available to our students, and it will be emailed to our students tomorrow or by the end of the week, so our students will be able to engage in filling out and providing us with feedback on how we can better their experience, be it academic, social, emotional, or wellness experience throughout the district. So we want to receive feedback from our students. We also want to be able to receive feedback from community members such as yourself. And we do have a survey for parents as well as community members to be able to provide us with feedback on ways in which we can strengthen our efforts with meeting the needs of our children. I will be giving a short little presentation on that in a few moments, so everyone will be able to see specifically what I'm speaking about. Excuse me. But I want to share with you that when it comes to the community, parents, students, community members at large, philanthropic organizations, businesses, etc., those of us as adults who are here and can be provided opportunity with meeting the needs of children. We as a school district are very open to the community being a part of the solution and offering suggestions as well as strategies in which we can then employ to meet the needs of the whole child. So I thank you very much for your comments, and I would love to have a copy of your comments so that I can look at some of the...
I brought extras.
Thank you very much, sir.
And I would just like to add, for those of you who don't know, and we celebrate this, is that Mr. Rivers is a retired Poughkeepsie City School District teacher. How many years, Mr. Rivers?
30.
30 years within the Poughkeepsie City School District, and don't, what? You said 30, and don't put me much older than that. So, no, we super appreciate you, and we appreciate you being a part of the solution. That was impressive for you to provide 5 off the bat solutions to the issue, and clearly within this school district, we do embody. We're in this together. We're in this together, and so we appreciate you. It's great seeing you at the meeting, and I mean that genuinely, because you're a foot soldier, and then you were here, you presented an issue, and then you came this meeting with specific solutions to assist, and Dr. Rosser happened to, even with when you came to the microphone the last time, or maybe you just mentioned it to me in exit, and I can't remember, but I shared it with Dr. Rosser, and immediately, just trying to remedy situations and trying to do what's in the best interest of our students in a very holistic, comprehensive way. So thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Cornelia Harris. I'm at 40 South Randolph Avenue. 2 things tonight that I wanted to mention. You know that I take care of the garden at the Early Learning Center. I was told that I can't go out there with kids because of the falling bricks from the roof. So I was wondering if there's a timeline for fixing the chimney. So as you know, the pickup and drop off has been changed for the parents in and out of that building. But if the garden's off limits for the foreseeable future, it would be nice to have communication about that so that I'm happy to do the work, but if nobody's going to use it, it would be good to know. And the other thing I would love to know is when we can post some frequently asked questions about the water situation. And I know Mr. Willoughby's been out, but if we could get a plan, even if it's somewhat general, about the installation, like which buildings are going to get which water fountains with Mr. Jacobson's money, and what general time frame. I know that specifics are not going to be easy to nail down, but I think it would be good for the buildings to know that they're slated to get 2, 3, 4 water fountains, and that is supposed to happen by the end of the year, and that way I can sleep easier. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Harris. I didn't know about the brick situation, and I have seen her in action, not only her, but her children in action with that garden. Very impressive. So we need to make sure that we get information to her, because I don't know what the issues are specific to the LC, and I know the chimney issue, I've known about that for a while. It's been something that's been in place, but we want to make sure that whatever it is, Dr. Rosser, if we can find out what she can and cannot do, and if children cannot be there or whatever. I don't know where that came from.
It's my understanding, but I'll look into this. My understanding that the main entrance can't be used. However, for all of us who are very familiar with the ELC, you understand that there is a way to get around to the area in which the garden is. It's my understanding that individuals can still go out and tend to the garden. We just can't use that front door, because the front... Okay. Let me look into that. I need to speak with Mr. Shloika to determine whether or not if there's something that has changed since the last time I've been updated on that. And also, as it relates to the FAQ for the water, it was my understanding that it was posted. However, Ms. Rabinowitz is indicating that, it's her understanding that it has not been posted. I will guarantee you that it will be posted before this weekend.
And one thing I'd just like to add is, we super appreciate Assemblyman Jacobson for securing those dollars, but those are taxpayer dollars. And so we want to make sure that we're aware of that the water fountains are being supplied by dollars through taxpayers.
And I'll learn more about the time frame. Actually, we had the honor of seeing Assemblyman Jacobson this past Saturday. He came to the fireside chat, but because I have a tendency to speak very long, I spoke a little bit longer than he was willing to stay. And I'm joking. I'm joking. But he had another engagement, I'm sure, that he had to get to, so I didn't get a chance to speak with him to find out what the timeline is for receiving the $50,000 that was allocated to the Poughkeepsie City School District. What I do know is that the funding, according to the correspondence from his office that I received, indicated that the funding would be to us before the close of the calendar year, which means that we only have a month and a half, per se, left before the close of the calendar year. So I would say any day now, and then once we receive the funding, we will then be able to determine which schools will be receiving the water fountains and how many water fountains each school would receive.
And again, Ms. Harris, the board would like to thank you openly for your fine work in pushing those issues. And although you tend to be very humble in what you do, and you don't need accolades for it, the board likes to acknowledge individuals in their fine efforts and work. So kudos to you for your consistency in those efforts. Hi.
Hi. Ellen Scott, 85 South Grand Avenue, Poughkeepsie, New York. I'd like to piggyback on Mr. Rivers' thing regarding the Spanish class. I've been researching a little bit, and the library system here in Dutchess County, especially the Poughkeepsie library system, has free language courses that you can sign up for if you have a library card. Now, I don't know whether this would be approved educationally, but at least it would give our students another opportunity to get some knowledge of the language, and maybe it could piggyback or become a credited thing. But all they have to have is a library card and access to the digital, which is very easy to do because I did it today, so I know it's easy. And they have all different languages that you can sign up to do. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Scott. Dr. Rosser, is it possible to just, is there something that has to be tied to New York State learning standards, or how could that, okay.
So whenever students receive instruction, particularly instruction for credit, there are strict criteria that our New York State Department of Education puts forth to all school districts. So we would need to make sure that whatever instruction that they're receiving is, number one, instruction that they're receiving from a certified or certificated teacher. In addition to that, there are some other stipulations that we would need to be mindful for. Now, that's not to say that we couldn't enter into a collaboration with the library system and have that opportunity made available as supplemental to our students' instruction, which I think is a pathway that we should explore.
Thank you so very much, Ms. Scott, for coming.
Indicate something. So I neglected, Mr. Rivers, I did neglect to indicate another strategy that we're engaged in, particularly as it relates to identifying critical staff that we need in our buildings on a day-to-day basis. This past Saturday, November 2nd, and this upcoming Saturday, November 9th, the wonderful Human Resources Department, under the leadership of Cheryl Rabinowitz, held a job recruitment fair for members in the community to be able to share with us any interest they may have in filling critical need positions. We had approximately 30 individuals who came through, and how many of which we were able to grant interviews? Was it all 30?
All 30.
Okay.
We had 5 administrators there, and all 30 were interviewed.
So we were able to provide on-the-spot interviews for community members and others who are interested in becoming a part of the Poughkeepsie City School family, and we're going to do a recurrence of that this upcoming Saturday as well, from 9 o'clock till 12 o'clock at the middle school, and it's held.
Information is on our website if someone wants to pre-register.
Information is on our website, and if anyone wants to pre-register, they have the ability to do that. Thank you.
Sorry, it was a commercial.
Good evening.
Good evening. Good evening.
Evening.
So how you doing? I'm Antoine Babb. I'm here as the newly elected president here at Krieger PTA.
Me too.
All right, that's enough. No, I didn't do that. I said, can I come up there with you? So, coming on board as the new president and trying to engage parents, and both parents and teachers, I found like a lot of pushback initially. It was like, it wasn't a indecisive thing, it was just like, no, I don't have time, I don't want to be involved. So over the past couple of weeks, what I've been doing is I've been coming and I've just been like talking to teachers, talking to parents, talking to faculty, and wondering like, what's the issues? Like, what are the reasons why you feel like you can't be involved? And what we find is a lot of people can't make it here for the meetings. And a lot of parents, a lot of teachers suggested, you know, being able to like chime in. I know at my organization, when we can't make a meeting, we have like blue jeans and different type of platforms where you can join right off your smartphone. We live in the era where everybody doesn't have transportation, but everybody has a smartphone. The school, they use Class Dojo, and on Class Dojo, they're able to reach, I believe, like 470 something kids out of 500 and like 520. They're able to reach over 400 of their parents. So they have smartphones. In order to like get engagement and to try to turn this PTA around, I was just brainstorming on ways that would be like ways that we could get more engagement. And we have access to projectors, we have screens, we have all the means to implement like video conferencing for individuals that can't make it on particular meeting days, but we need access to the district's network. And I was wondering, is this an option? And if so, how do I go about starting this process?
Thank you, sir. Dr. Rosser?
Yeah, so thank you very much for the leadership that you've taken as a parent and as a community member in helping to reinvigorate the PTA here at Krieger. I'm going to have Ms. Rabinowitz, have a conversation with you around what specifics which you like to have access to as it relates to our technology. She'll be able to have a more in-depth conversation with you regarding that. In addition, and she's not here right now, but I will also have Ms. Natasha Cherry sort of reach out to you so that the two of you can then discuss strategies that can be employed to increase participation for the PTA here as well.
So is this something that's possible?
We would need to find and learn the specifics of what your request is, and that can be discussed with Ms. Rabinowitz.
So I mean, I kind of know what we need here to get possible.
Excuse me, sir, just a point of order. So this is not an interactive conversation. You've stated your case, the superintendent has responded, and so what will take place is that Ms. Rabinowitz will connect with you and have an in-depth conversation. So just so that we're in sync with the way we conduct our board meetings.
All right, thank you.
Thank you so very much, sir. And thank you for serving as president. And what's your name, sir? That's right, give him the microphone. What's your name? He has his 3 minutes.
Elijah,
Excellent.
Elijah.
And what school do you attend, Elijah?
this school.
Wow.
Okay, wonderful. Let's give Elijah a hand. Thank you so very much. Are there any further citizens' comments? At this time, we're going to turn it over to Dr. Rosser, who's going to turn it over to the building level principal. And now that they have the screen up, I was buying time. We would have brought the young people in immediately because we want them to get home so they can get some rest, so they can be on their A game tomorrow. Dr. Rosser, so they can do their homework. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Rosser at this time.
So thank you very much, everyone, for being here this evening. We do have a treat before us. I want to thank Mr. Noto, building principal here at Krieger, for putting together this wonderful opportunity for students to be able to present something that they're engaged in here at the school. It's always wonderful when we can see examples of student work and student engagement, because at the end of the day, this is what we're here for as adults, to make sure that we're providing opportunity and access for our children to be able to learn on multiple levels and to deepen their understanding of those things that are going to be critical and necessary for them to be able to obtain success beyond just our K through 12 institution. So with that being said, Mr. Noto.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Thank you for coming out to Krieger this evening. I have the pleasure of introducing some of our students this evening, and as well as my wonderful fifth grade staff that's here this evening. The four teachers that are here have worked really hard with our students to develop a couple of programs that are going on here in the building. It was our intention to have the screen up early. Unfortunately, our screen was not found in time. So our wonderful tech people have worked so hard in getting this up there for us. So thank you, gentlemen, for that. I appreciate it. Before we go forward, we had two presentations that hopefully we can show later on in the evening. They're both slideshows. The first one is the UDHR, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, and that's something that's been studied in each of our fifth grade classes. And we also have a coat drive going on right now. That coat drive was specifically brought into play by a couple of students in the fifth grade. They reached out and spoke with our two student government advisors in the building, and we currently have that drive going on, and it was our goal to collect about 30 coats. At this time, I'm going to ask our fifth grade students to come on up for a short presentation, which will be followed up by a video.
Excuse me, are any photos being taken that we can post on the website? Oh, okay.
Here's our fifth grade greeting team.
Last school year, the fifth grade class began a recycling project at Krieger School. They started to learn about what should go into the recycling bin and what should go into the trash. With approval from Mr. Noto and help from the custodial staff, they began to collect recycling material in the fifth grade classes. During that time, they collected 560 pounds of recyclables.
Wow.
Then the project began to grow, and they started to collect from the fifth and fourth grade classes. During that time, they collected 361 pounds of recyclables. With the start of the school year, the new fifth grade class, that's us, continued the project and started collecting from the second floor of the school. Look at the amount we collected over only a 4-week period, 317 pounds. Then for the past 3 weeks, we have been collecting from the whole school. Now, look how much we collected during that time, 428 pounds.
Wow.
We now have a good problem, in that the recycling bins are being filled to overflowing. We may need more bins.
We will continue to learn more about the importance of recycling and things that we can do to help our planet. We thank all the staff for their support in this project, and we especially thank the custodial staff for helping us get the blue bins out for recycling pickup each week. Now let's watch a public service announcement from the fifth grade green team.
These are posters going to the trash.
This is a plastic cup. Plastic cups go in the trash. This is a plastic spoon. We go to the garbage. This is a plastic bag. It goes to the garbage. Oh,
full of the trash. These are napkins. Napkins go to the trash.
This is styrofoam. Styrofoam goes in the trash.
These are straws. Straws go in the garbage. This is a water bottle. It goes in recycling. This is a magazine. It goes in recycling. This is paper. It goes in the recycling. This is a can. Cans go in the recycling. This is a newspaper. The newspaper goes in the recycling. This is cardboard. Cardboard goes in the recycling. The folder. Folders go in the recycling. This is a paper bag. Paper bags go in the recycling.
We gotta learn to reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. We gotta learn to reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce, reuse, recycle. Reduce.
Bravo! Bravo! Very nice.
If I could, just before the board takes back over for the evening, just like to make the announcement that this collection and these weights of items that were collected is paper only. We have not even begun the process of collecting plastics and or other items that may be recycled.
Wow.
That's the first thing I think is very important. And then, again, our amazing fifth grade team, they are doing a full integration of math and science skills with this also. So not only are the students saving the planet, but they're also using math skills in order to calculate, and then, once again, science skills in order to figure out or determine what is recyclable. So nice job, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Actually, Mr. Noto, so we're going to ask the students to please stand again, and if we can give them the microphone, if they could say their names. Can you just stand up, face the community, the audience, turn around, face the audience? Let's give them a huge round of applause. And pass the mic.
My name is Kaylee.
My name is Brendan.
My name is Valeria. My name is Brittany.
My name is Jason.
My name is Kaden.
All right, again, let's give them a hand. Excellent job.
So what I would like to say is that I appreciate everything that you taught us. And when I say taught us, my wife and I, we have conversations a lot about recycling. I like to recycle napkins, and she's always saying to me, Eric, you don't recycle napkins. And I'm like, well, honey, napkins are paper. But with what you shared with me, or with everyone this evening, now I have the knowledge to know that my wife was right, and that I should not be recycling napkins. So thank you very much for teaching me something new. Thank you very much, teachers, as well.
Now, young people, do you know who he is? Who is he? Besides being a 6'8" wonderful person, who is he? The mayor? Not quite. Maybe in the next 4 years. We just had an election last night, so not today. He's not today. Do you know? Anyone else want to give it a shot?
He's the superintendent.
He's the superintendent. And what is a superintendent? Okay. One of the things, Mr. Noel and Dr. Ross, I think we really need to educate our young people to the organizational structure of the schools, because many of them don't know that. So he's the superintendent. He's the chief executive officer of the school district. So when it comes to running the schools, when it comes to everything fabulous, when it comes to everything make it happen, this is the man that oversees it. Okay? So he's the big man in charge, specific to the school district. So we need to make sure and here's a big thing. You taught him something. So tomorrow when you go to class, you be like, I know I'm everything. We taught the superintendent something last night. Can you do that tomorrow with your classmates? Can you show them how wonderful you are and how special you are? Okay, great, excellent. So tomorrow you do that. That's it. Go home. Oh, they got more? Oh, I was going to send them home and get some rest.
Thank you, everyone. I just wanted to give them an opportunity to introduce themselves. As we mentioned the coat drive before, as I said, we did have a slide presentation that we hoped would be running in the background, but these students worked very hard at working on the coat drive, so I wanted to...
Beautiful. Absolutely. Absolutely.
My name is Eker. My name is Donnie. My name is Emma.
So these are the three students that work with our student government advisors to put everything...
Woo! Bravo!
Guys, great job. I'm sorry we didn't have your presentation going the whole time, but hopefully we'll get it up there in just a couple minutes. Thank you.
Mr. Noto, just a quick question.
Yes, ma'am.
So you said 30 coats.
Yes.
Does it matter, children's, infants, whatever?
We're willing to accept anything at this
Okay.
point. We have a couple of staff members who have volunteered to clean them as well, and we're hoping to expand our entire tradition of giving this year. We actually have a donation coming in from Burlington Coat Stores very shortly for $1,000 that we're hoping to use for Thanksgiving and holiday times as well.
And so where do we bring the coats?
They can be dropped off right here at the building. Donnie, you want to?
Yeah, can you tell us, Donnie? Thank you.
So we have a class, and it's Miss Rooney's class. It's actually 216. It's on the top floor, and the answer to your question is we have 28 coats. Our goal is 30. So we are looking for sizes to basically adults to children, because we are donating to the children's home. 1 through 18 is the ages. So, any more questions?
No, Donnie, you are something. You are something. You guys, you three are really doing it. We appreciate you.
Board President, can I remove myself from superintendent and allow this young man?
I think Donnie, come on over, Donnie. You're the man. Come on, take on. We're gonna put Donnie up here. All right. Is there? We good? You guys? Do you want anything else you want us to know? Is there anything else? All right. Well, high five. Get over here. I need some high fives.
Donnie,
Wonderful.
I'm gonna bring you
Ladies and gentlemen, the community members of the board, thank you so much for indulging us this evening.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Look at this is Poughkeepsie's finest.
Come on now.
Now that we need to talk about this. Beautiful. Kudos to the teacher who worked with the young people. Thank you so very much. They were talking about STEM, and STEM is huge at the State Education Department. The whole push is around STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. And here at Krieger, they're putting it into action. So thank you so very much. We're going to move on to our
We still have a couple more things.
continued superintendent's reports.
So I want to bring attention to a fabulous resource that was brought to my attention this past Saturday. And it's a resource that has been put together by a number of community-based organizations that has provided an opportunity for children, parents, adults, community members in general to really learn about the fabulous assets that exist throughout the community that are targeted specifically for our children. So I want to call Mr. Gully Stanford to the microphone. He shared this resource with me, and I wanted to provide him with a few moments just to share with the community all that this tool, this online tool, is intended to do in meeting the needs of our children and thus our community.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rosser. Madam President, I'm going to invite Mr. Alex Reese to the microphone, and then I'm going to raise the microphone because I'm in the company of many 6-foot-tall gentlemen. Come on, Gary. I can't match that. The directory actually grew out of a conversation with the board in April of last year, 2018, and Mr. Reese is an active member of the Poughkeepsie, Poughkeepsie Youth Coalition, and was the co-chair with Mrs. Natasha Cherry of a working group known as the Tenet Team, which investigated, explored opportunities for the community to to help work with two key tenets, tenet 5, social and emotional growth, and tenet 6, community support for the school district. We reported to the board in April of last year, and I would like to ask Mr. Rees just to give a very brief indication of why this was thought to be important by the community.
Thank you to the board and to the superintendent. This is a great honor to be here in front of all of you. The Youth Coalition is a bunch of providers, organizations who provide youth services here in the city. And we thought one of the great needs that we could perhaps provide is a digital directory of all the youth services, of what's out there, to make sure it's a resource to students, to parents, and hopefully to the school district, to teachers and to administrators. And through the leadership of people like Tom Lawrence of the Poughkeepsie Library District, we've created this website. There are all these categories that you can go on, and if there's an area of interest, it's a portal that leads you to the services that we have already out there. And we have over 30 providers already listed there, and we're working very hard to get that number up to 60 to 65, which is going to be pretty amazing. And I just really want all of you to go on to this site. It's PokYC.org. And I think we'd love to hear your feedback, and we'd love to work with you as much as we can. Thank you.
Okay. What was the website again?
PokYC.org.
And Sean, for those who will be looking at the video, can you just pan the camera to the screen so that they can see an example of this wonderful resource for our families?
So very, very briefly, I'm sorry. Very good.
She just did.
And of course, I will send this. We're so grateful to Dr. Rosser for the invitation to share this. We are ready for prime time. So a big thank you to Tom Lawrence, who worked with the same provider as created the Think Differently. Some of you may be familiar with that. The county website. Maybe I'll just stay with my outdoor voice. The same provider, Think Differently, is very, very successful for people with special needs. We cover after-school tutoring, health and wellness, material needs, arts and culture, recreation, leadership, social and emotional, technology, STEM, recreation and sports, literacy and reading, LGBTQ support, leadership and life skill development, juvenile justice. The idea is to have a one-stop directory for teachers, administrators, guidance counselors, social workers, but also parents and students to find what are the programs out there in the community, all the key information, what will it cost if anything, are there scholarships, and so forth, because our parents, alas, we have discovered that our community is not aware of the wonderful string of pearls, I will call them, of organizations and services that are available to them frequently free of charge. And I'm just so grateful for the opportunity to share with you. Please check it out. You can click on it. We won't do it right now because it's really hard to see, but you can click on it. You can also click on by grade level. So we were advised by representatives of the school district because we wanted to be sure that you and your colleagues would say, yes, this is valuable, because sometimes things are created in the private sector which, although they may have great worth, do not align with what's needed to be done to help every student succeed. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. One of the things that we will commit to doing, because this is a wonderful resource for not only our school staff, but also our students and our parents, we would like to make sure that on our website, our Poughkeepsie City School District website, that we have a direct link to this, so as people are perusing our website, that this wonderful resource is available to them as well.
Yes.
Becky, are we good for, okay. Can that be brought up? So one thing that I want to share with everyone, and I've been out meeting with a number of different organizations, individuals, parents, students, on what is in store for the Poughkeepsie City School District. And as I've been sharing with them, one of the things that we are engaged in as a school district is really learning much better what our school community, and when I say our school community, that would be our parents, our teachers, our staff members, our community at large, and our students. What is their vision for the Poughkeepsie City School District? We're in the process right now of developing what we call a strategic plan, a comprehensive strategic plan, which will serve as our roadmap for determining where we're going to head as a school district as we build and improve the quality of instruction as well as the service for our children. So what we have constructed is a series of opportunities for us to be able to receive this feedback. We have a parent survey that we would like all parents to be able to share critical information about the current state of our schools, as well as, just as importantly, where they would like our schools to go. We have a student survey, so as I'm looking to my left and I'm looking directly at students, we want our students to be able to share with us exactly where they believe our school district should go in meeting your needs. We have a community survey. Our community survey is also an opportunity for the community to be able to share with us their perception of the school district, as well as where we can go collectively as school and community with meeting the needs of our children. Additionally, we have a graduates and former Poughkeepsie City School District survey that we would love for our graduates to be able to complete. We're in the process right now of finalizing a survey for our teachers and our staff to be able to complete as well. As I mentioned, our goal is to improve upon the great work that is happening within the city school district and to provide opportunity for school and community to be able to provide the district, meaning myself and the board, with feedback on ways in which you feel as community we can improve our school district. This will be a process of collecting information over the next month, and then December 18th, I will be taking all of this information and I will be presenting back to the community as well as the board what the findings of this survey is. In the springtime, myself and the board will then engage in the process of developing our strategic plan. And our strategic plan, as I mentioned earlier, will be our pathway or our roadmap for how we will go about improving the outcomes of our children through activities, through initiatives, through new programs that we will institute over the next 5 years. So I want to encourage all who represent our community, which would be our students, our parents, our teachers, other staff member, our community at large, as well as other community-based organizations. This survey is made available on our district website. For those of you who signed in today, we most certainly will email you links. The survey will also go out to all students on their Poughkeepsie City School District email. The survey for our teachers and our staff, once completed, will go out to our teachers and staff. I will also be hosting focus groups for teachers and staff to come and visit with me and share with me verbally things that they have in terms of ideas on how we can create a better school district for children. In addition to that, I am also hosting several fireside chats where I'm making myself available to the community at large to be able to receive feedback from the community on ways in which we can improve our school district on behalf of our children. As I mentioned, this process will be a process that takes some time. December 18th, I will be reporting out on the results of the surveys as well as my conversations with individuals. In the springtime, myself and the board will then engage in developing the strategic plan. In late spring, the board will then vote to approve the strategic plan, and my staff will then begin to engage on delivering or working towards delivering on many of the goals that will be outlined in that plan. So as I mentioned, I offer an opportunity for everyone in the community to be engaged in informing myself as well as the board members on ways in which we can increase opportunities for our children to find success while they're in school as well as beyond school through engaging in completing these surveys and providing us with critical information that will help inform our direction moving forward as a school district. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Any comments from the board?
Thank you.
We know that data are king, and when you want to have sustained systemic change, it's imperative that you catapult from a place that's data-driven, assessment-driven. And so, Dr. Ross, we're looking forward to your report on December 18th. Madam Board Clerk, can you tell me if is there a specific location? Is that typically the high school for that meeting? Okay, I'm going to recommend, Dr. Rosser, that meeting be held at City Hall. If we can reach out, if the board is not in opposition of that, that is my recommendation. And it's also my recommendation that at that meeting, that the student government students also attend, and that we inaugurate them at that meeting also, and that it be held at City Hall. Are any of the board members opposed to that?
No.
Okay, so let's put that in motion, that we will have the inauguration, so that means and then if we can contact Judge Tom O'Neill, since he typically does it, and Judge Frank Mora, if we can also have him in attendance, as they have been in the past. And we do a whole send out to parents, so that parents make sure that they're present with their children. And we do this thing the Poughkeepsie Pioneer way. Is that all right? Excellent. Dr. Rosser, again, thank you. We're going to move to our consent agenda. Are there any items? Yes. PIG. You already know, right? Participation in government? Yes. Our PIG students. Now, you're supposed to stay here for the whole meeting, but we've been very lenient. This board is really big on education, so we want to make sure that you get home, not to watch television or play some video games, but to get your homework done and get in that bed. So come on up here so we can sign, unless the board, I'm asking for permission to allow the PIG students to come forward. PIG is not negative, it's an acronym, and the students are used to it, so there's nothing offensive just for anyone that's hears the expression. It's an acronym for participation in government. It's their history class, so we can sign off. You can go to anyone. All right, all right, all right, let's do this.
I can sign. You got somebody has it?
Hey, what's up with this? Dr. Ross, you got another? Oh, I got a pen somewhere. Where's my pen?
Right here.
Okay.
Students who need signatures, step up.
There you go.
And we want great grades from you guys. Great grades, 90 and above. You can do it.
And with your surveys, please make sure that you give them back to Miss Becky Torres. Can you raise your hand, Miss Torres?
So the students have already been given the surveys, Dr. Rosser?
Yeah. Ms. Torres handed out surveys.
Beautiful.
I sign them. I sign right here.
Well, we don't know if your thing is legitimate then. I don't know. We might have to check that. Now, what's your teacher's name? Mr. Lawrence, can you give word to Mr. Lawrence that there are board members that want to come to the class, because you guys come to these meetings, and we want to solidify this in a more concerted way, so I would love to come to visit your class, okay? So let him know that Felicia Watson said that she would love to come visit the class, all right? And what's your name? Angel. All right, Angel, I'm going to depend on you to carry the message. Can you help me out? All right, give me some. All right, great. Everybody sign. All right, get home safely. How many of you are walking home? You have to walk home. Be safe and bundle up. All right. We said over here?
Yeah, we have to write down your names.
Oh, okay. Okay.
It's also on the board, on the website as well, too. Okay. Just to let you know.
And tell all your classmates to fill out the survey.
Thank you, young people, so very much for coming to the meeting. Take care and get home safely. Is there a motion to move into our consent agenda?
So moved.
All in favor? Aye. Are there any items to be removed from the consent agenda?
8.27.
8.27. Any others? That being said, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda excluding resolution number 8.27?
So moved. Second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed, motion carries. Is there a motion to approve agenda item 8.27?
So moved. Second.
Discussion. Trustee Long?
Yes, I'm a big one about, I believe in moving up within. So as I read this resolution, I just wanted to make sure that all individuals who have applied for this position have been considered. I do have great concerns that there are some employees within the district that are being bypassed for promotions, and I just want to make sure that this is something that we're taking into consideration.
She's an employee here. She works here at Krieger.
My point is where everyone, I got a call that someone applied, never even received an
Okay,
interview.
this is a personnel item, so we want to be careful not to overstep the issues here. What trustee Long is referring to, Dr. Rosser, is equity. The bottom line that she's referring to is equity, and we can't delve too much further into that because it would be personnel driven. So she's saying that HR practices, that there's equity in every position within the district, no matter what. So that is the bottom line. That being said, Trustee Long, is there any other, anything else you would like to discuss specific to that?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Is there a motion to approve agenda item 8.27?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. None opposed, motion carries. We're going to move to our action items, Board of Education action items. Would someone want to explain to the community what action items are? Board trustees?
There are items that have to be voted on separately, unlike the consent agenda, could be in one fell swoop.
And can a trustee explain to our community what a consent agenda is?
Do you want me to do it?
You can do it. Whomever. You want it? Who wants to take it? Trustee Clifford?
Consent agenda items are all of the items that, well, actually, we just voted on. So we can put them all together unless one of us, or more than one of us, requests that an item be pulled. We can lump them all together and vote on them all at the same time.
Excellent. One of the things that we like to do is to make sure that folks are in the know, and so every now and then, we will explain things just so that we're all knowledgeable. We're going to move to our action items. Action item 13.1, stipulation of settlement. Is there a motion to approve agenda item 13.1?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Dr. Reeser?
Yes.
Mrs. Clifford?
Yes.
Ms. Long?
Yes.
Dr. Watson?
Yes, motion carries. Agenda item 13.1, motion to amend item 8.26 from the July 1st, 2019 reorg meeting. Is there a motion to approve this agenda item?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Is there a motion to approve the agenda item 13.3, approval to amend the board meeting calendar for 2019-2020 school year?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, one of the things, Madam Board Clerk, is that, given that we just made another change, I'm going to ask that that change be included as a part of this resolution, and so that can be updated in sync with that. All in favor? Aye. None opposed, motion carries.
Or did I miss it?
I'm sorry? We're okay?
Yeah.
There's one item to be walked on. Can someone explain to our community what a walk-on item is?
The board president and the superintendent, prior to our board meetings, have an agenda review meeting, at which time the agenda is discussed and finalized for the board meeting. Once that is done, it's put up on board docs at least 72 hours prior to our board meeting. If there are any resolutions that come or need to come before the board after that time, which means they're not included on this agenda once we go live, we have the ability to walk them on, meaning we don't have it in this packet. It's not something that was put up on board docs prior, but was brought to the board as something that needed attention, and so we can walk that resolution on and then vote on it the night of the board meeting.
Excellent. Thank you, Trustee Clifford. That was an excellent description of exactly what takes place. And so, Madam Board Clerk, do we have it prepared?
Wait, can I add?
Sure, absolutely.
So when we go through that process, there has to be a motion to walk the resolution on. If there's not unanimous board consent to walk the resolution on, then we don't even go any farther. If there's unanimous, meaning all of us agree to walk the agenda item on, then we walk it on and we can vote on it at that point.
Excellent. Thank you so very much, Trustee Clifford. Are we set, Madam Board Clerk? Okay. While we're awaiting the resolution to come forward, for clarity, because I think in Spanish it's saber es poder, knowledge is power, but it's not really knowledge is power, it's applied knowledge is power. So one of the things that we constantly do is to really push forward information. And we want to be clear, so recommendations are made from who? I'm just throwing it out to our audience. Recommendations come from whom? Where? The superintendent, exactly. So the superintendent makes recommendations to the Board of Education, and for clarity's sake, the Board of Education, we don't get together and surmise and come up with the agenda items and come up with things. We receive recommendations from the superintendent. There are very few things that the board has unilateral authority over, specific to resolutions and specific to action items within a school district. The superintendent, as the chief executive officer, has complete carte blanche authority over all things in daily operations. The board has no authority over daily operations, and nor is it our role and responsibility to be participating in daily operations. Now, as board members, we receive information many times from different individuals, and we don't do anything with that. We don't come up with resolutions when we receive the information. Trustee Long had someone brought an issue to her. She has no authority to do anything, so that's why she just kind of put it out there to the community. Only recommendations can come from the superintendent. So we don't get together, the five of us. Trustee Michelle Martinez Lefford is not here with us today, but the board does not get together and come up with these. I think sometimes there's misinformation specific to that. Are we up yet? If not, I can keep talking. There's a lot of stuff we can talk about. Okay, we're ready? Okay, Madam Board Clerk, I'm going to ask you to read the resolution, please.
This is a motion to approve Mr. Owen Kelso as a substitute administrator, resolution number 20-343. Be it resolved that Mr. Owen Kelso be approved as a substitute administrator.
Are there any questions? So the first part of the motion is to walk on the resolution as read by our board clerk. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now, the second part is that we have to now vote on this resolution. Is there a motion to approve the resolution as read by our board clerk?
So moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Are there any other, Dr. Rosser, any other walk-on items or any other items
No, that was
that
it.
need to be addressed? Thank you. All right, so we're going to move to our comments from our board members and our superintendent. We're going to start with our chief executive officers, Superintendent Eric Rosser. We're going to follow up with comments from trustee Andrew Reeser, followed by comments from trustee Clifford, and then from our trustee Deborah Long, who's our vice president, and then you're going to hear from me, and we're going to be,
Done.
and then we're going to be out of here.
So thank you very much. I want to acknowledge when we have new family members who are coming to us as family members to work with us in meeting the needs of children. I'm hoping that this teacher was able to make it. I know that there may have been some challenges with her making it this evening, but is Michaela Ackelbauer in the audience?
She was not able to attend this evening.
Okay. She will be the math AIS teacher here at Krieger.
Yay.
Yay.
We've been pushing for that for a while.
We also have Nicole Navarro, who will be a special education teacher to the Bridge program at Pace Academy, grade 7. Also want to acknowledge those members who are transitioning from us as part of our immediate family into the world of retirement. So one of our paraprofessionals is retiring, and I want to read the statement that has been prepared. Be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts the retirement of Ms. Diane Lewis from her teaching assistant position in the Poughkeepsie City School District effective November 5th, 2019. Whereas Ms. Lewis has served the students of the Poughkeepsie City School District for 14 years as a teaching assistant with dedication and excellence, and be it resolved that the Board of Education accepts her retirement effective November 5th, 2019, and extends its gratitude and best wishes in the years to come. That is my updates.
Thank you, sir. Is there anything else you want to say, Dr. Rosser?
Yes. So I want to thank everyone for being a part of this meeting. For those of you who are out there in TV land, as my grandfather used to say when he spoke to the TV, make sure that if you are interested in being a part of informing our direction for the next 5 years, that you really take full advantage of participating by completing a survey. This is an extremely important part of our work moving forward, which is being informed by the community as to what the direction of the district will be. And not only being a part of, not only being informed, but also making sure that you're a part of the solution. That where there's opportunities for you to partner with us, where there's opportunity for you to continuously provide us with critical feedback on ways in which we together can meet the needs of the children, that you are here at these board meetings sort of sharing nifty, creative ideas as to how we can promote our district to being one of the top districts here in the Dutchess County region.
Because we are.
Yes.
Dr. Reeser.
Thanks, Madam Board President. Want to give a shout out to my friend Antoine Babb upon his election as the president of the Krieger PTA. We heard from him earlier, but I just got a text from him. In his excitement, he forgot to mention the next meeting, which I'll do now, and then I'll push it up to my school board Facebook as well. But next PTA meeting is, I believe, here in this room, Monday, November 18th at 6 p.m. So that's from Antoine. I also wanted to give congratulations to Dr. Rosser on an outstanding fireside chat this past Saturday. It was super informative. I thought we had a nice turnout of super engaged parents and community members. As Gully mentioned, you did it on one good leg and heroically, and so, of course, best wishes on speedy recovery from your knee injury. And we're looking forward to more of these great fireside chats where you engage the community so effectively, and looking forward to working with you on the strategic planning process as well. So a shout out to Dr. Rosser for that. And that is it for me.
Well, I think there's something special, Dr. Reeser. You're in the building of one of the most important people in your life.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even mention Sophie. I thought I would depart from tradition. I usually mention Sophie at every single one of my member comments, and I hardly could here because, of course, I was just here earlier picking her up. So maybe a shout out to Principal Noto. Thank you. So let me do that for your leadership and here at Krieger, which is so important to Sophie. So thank you, Principal Noto. Thanks, Dr. Thank you. Yep.
What? Why are you, Trustee Clifford?
What's going on?
I don't know. I have actually a few things I'm going to make up for not being here at the last meeting. So this has been it's only Wednesday, and it's been a crazy busy week.
Very busy.
So Monday, the girls' swim team had their sectional preliminary. We had 3 relays that the girls competed in. And I bring that up because last night was the fall sports banquet. It was well attended. It was a packed house. It was at the Vassar Alumni House. Twisted Soul catered it. The food was fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Hodge, for making all of that happen. All of the teams were there. The room was full of excitement. It was really a pleasure to be in the room with all of our scholar athletes for our fall sports. Sectionals are not done. Our cross-country team is participating in sectionals on Saturday, as is our cheer team. So that's, while we're preparing for winter sports, some of our fall sports aren't quite finished yet. This morning, I was at the Bardavon because the Poughkeepsie High School Jazz Ensemble performed on the Bardavon stage. And I wanted to pull it up on the Bardavon website, but it's already gone because it happened this morning. Our jazz band, from what I understand, for the last 6 years, there's I want to say the Met Quintet, but I'm not positive that's the correct name. They come in and do a master classes with our jazz ensemble. And so our jazz ensemble has been playing with them, taking the master classes with them for a few days now, and we're then showcased on the stage at the Bardavon playing with them. Jazz is a lot about improv. We had I'm going to say at least 8, if not 10 students at various times during the 45-minute performance or hour performance stand up and do improv solos. It was amazing. And what made it even more special was that Clinton, Morse, and Waring 5th grade classes were in the audience. So I have some video, there it is. Some video footage that...
Express yourself. That's what I'm about to do. We're going to play a tune by a wonderful guitarist. His name is John Schofield. And this is a tune that he calls everybody's party. Everybody's party.
Everybody's party.
And I'd really like to, Chris, give you all of the footage, because at one point, they did a call and response, and the kids in the audience they flipped out. And there were a number of times during the performance where I could hear kids yelling out, "You're the best ever! This is the best music!" Like our children had the opportunity to be exposed to something that they might not otherwise be exposed to, which is something that I talk about with people who have things to say about the Poughkeepsie City School District, that the opportunities that our children are afforded are above what a lot of the students in other districts in this county are exposed to. On top of that, Friday, they're going to see Grandmaster Flash, who some of us know. The kids in the jazz ensemble go, "Oh yeah, Grandmaster Flash, what's that?" But they're going to see him on Friday.
Where at?
At the Bardavon.
Oh, Grandmaster Flash is going to be here?
Yes.
It's going to be here, or is it going to be I thought it was going to be in Kingston.
Bardavon.
Oh, wow, because it was announced earlier it was going to be in Kingston.
No, Thursday and Friday, he's at the Bardavon. Our students are going on Friday.
Oh, wow.
That's wonderful.
And as a parent of a jazz ensemble player, it costs $3 for her to go.
Wow.
You know, it's the opportunities our children are exposed to, to me is incredible. It makes me so proud. And I actually wanted to also take the opportunity to thank the Bardavon, the relationship that we have with them. The programming that they provide for children in this community is amazing. It's not just our children, but ours are the ones who reap the benefits. It's just, there's a lot going on, and it's fantastic. I also want to thank you, Dr. Rosser, for all of the work that you've been putting in between the fireside chats and the superintendent briefs. I see that there's a link here that people can actually opt in to receive the superintendent brief. It's something that Dr. Rosser puts out every few days. I'm not sure if there's actually a timeline. I haven't paid attention. I just read them.
Yeah, twice a week.
And it really highlights and showcases all of the amazing things that are going on here in the district. So for those of you out in TV land, I suggest that you sign up to opt in to receive them. It's a really great way to keep track of what's going on, because 99% of the stuff will not make it into the newspaper. It's just, it's not the things that sell papers. So I want to thank you for that. Also, I was, again, sort of along the line of PR, I was really happy to get a notification from the Poughkeepsie City School District Facebook page, which I liked many years ago. And I think this is the first time I ever remember getting a notification. I got 2 within the last 2 days. So the notification that I'm thinking about that triggered this was the graduate and former students survey, was a link to the survey. I did not go and check the history of the post for the page, but if they haven't been posted, if you could post all of these surveys, because it makes it very easy for us to then share the link.
Okay.
Which I did immediately, both, on the Better Future for Poughkeepsie Schools and on my own page. But that made me just, wow, thank you. These are all the things, and that speaks to community engagement and parent participation and involvement. And as Antoine said when he was here, everyone has a smartphone. So to see that we're actually really starting to capitalize on that is fantastic. So, thank you. That's all for me.
Thank you to Ms. Rabinowitz, as well as Ms. Torres and our Public Information Officer, Mr. Goldberg, for restarting our Facebook page. And I believe we also have our Twitter, and then we're establishing an Instagram page.
Yay. The only other thing I wanted to mention, back to the athletic banquet, it was really wonderful to be in the room with all of our scholar athletes. As a parent, so I'm kind of playing dual role right now. I was struck by how few parents were there. And I say this because we keep talking about parent involvement. And I realize that when students hit middle school, there's a shift in the way that students are treated, because now we're expecting them to have more responsibility, be more like adults. And with that shift, they're also sort of, this is my perception, there's we take the foot off the gas of keeping parents involved. And when they get to the high school, it's even more so. And, you know, it's not a matter of wanting to do things with because there were many children or students, they'd hate it if I called them children. There are many students who told their parents not to come. So I understand that is the case. But I just think things like that are opportunities. It's not a matter of, I want to do this with my child. I want to be in the room. You know, kids got awards last night. There's the Coaches Award, there's the Most Improved Player Award, there's the Most Valuable Player Award, and we're talking statues and plaques and speeches, and it just kind of struck me that there were not more parents there to hear their kids being acknowledged and even, you know, really praised. And I'm not sure how we address that, but I wanted to just mention it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Trustee Clifford. Trustee Long?
I just have a question, Trustee Clifford. Was there a cost associated with attending?
Yes.
Okay, so.
And I believe so I should clarify, there's no cost for the student athletes. There's a cost for adults, which is $30, and a cost for children under 10, which was $15.
So maybe we should think about changing the time of month it is. It's the beginning of the month, and most times mortgage, rent, and et cetera, and I'm just going to put this out here because I know a lot of our staff have children that participate in sports, but they're lower paying staff. And I know if I was in a position, I couldn't afford that.
No.
But anyway, I just want to say, I ran on transparency, so I want to thank Mr. Hoover and the 5th grade class. I don't recycle, so after I do not, and I stand in my own truth. After your presentation today, I will begin. Thank you.
Look at children changing lives.
Exactly. And, you know, there's no sense in sugarcoating. That's the God's honest truth. So I'm actually going to get me a recycling bin. I threw mine in the garbage. So with that said.
It should have gone in recycling.
I don't have any other comments tonight, so.
And that's probably a good thing.
So, I just want to say thank you, Dr. Roster, so.
Yeah, Trustee Long is a strong advocate in the community. She has a good pulse of all that's going on amongst a great number of our student population, so, and their families, and we super appreciate Trustee Long and all that she does on behalf of the Board of Education and on behalf of students and families within our district. A couple of things I'm just going to quickly just go through. The recruitment fairs, we haven't done that, and I don't ever recall it, certainly not since I've been on the board. In previous to that, I don't know that we've had them, so we want to say kudos to the team. I know Cheryl Rabinowitz and Barbara Williams in HR were at the one last week, so that's a really great. And Charlotte Monona was there.
No, and Mr. Hodge.
And
Dr.
Mr. Hodge was there. And and Dr. Tyndike were there. So that's wonderful. And who else? Anyone else?
Yeah, sure. Deanna Singleton.
Deanna Singleton.
Miss Bennett from Krieger.
Miss Bennett from Krieger.
Miss Clark, Lisa Clark from
Miss Clark.
Court Services. And Mrs. Danielle Charter wasn't there that day, but she prepared.
She prepared it. Danielle Charter.
And Melanie Versulo.
And what's her last name?
I'm sorry.
Oh, Vertulo, yeah, because her husband was a math teacher within the school district. So here's the thing, is that we're doing this, and we need to spread the word about this. So hopefully, is it on the website? Is it on the website for the recruitment fairs? Can we pull it up, please?
Yeah, Becky, what we need to do too, because I don't think it's on the scrolling part anymore, we need to add it back to it.
Yes, we need to definitely put that up there. Recruitment fairs, these are for jobs. The safe passages, Dr. Ross and I were at a meeting for that, I think last week sometime. And we're going to be really pushing that forward, especially as the spring. We think we're far away, but we're not. So we're going to really, under Dr. Ross's leadership, in conjunction with the police department and SNUG, are going to be putting in place mediums so that our young people feel safe as they go home, and that there are not issues and problems. The sports banquet, again, let's give Coach Hodge a round hands of applause for his wonderful job. He continues to, since he's been on board here in the Poughkeepsie City School District, he's done a phenomenal job with these banquets. They are always something. Unfortunately, we got wind of it a little late. I didn't realize it was on Election Day, and I had already committed to participating in elections in a really concerted way. I like to attend those banquets when I'm in town, and I was in town. Unfortunately, we got the information, and I had already committed, so. March 10th. Yeah, and some parents, one of the things in sync with what Trustee Clifford had said, I did receive a call from a parent regarding, and at that time I wasn't aware, and then Dr. Rosser gave us information on it. So we do want to make sure that parents are 100% aware, and maybe there's something that we can figure out, I don't know what, even maybe some fundraising or something for parents who cannot afford to attend. If we can do something to maybe, I don't know, Dr. Ross, or something, and I know you're probably going to punch me after, say another thing, Felicia, really, but because there are parents sometimes that want to attend and unfortunately cannot afford, and $30 perhaps to us is not a lot of money, but for some it may be major money, so. The superintendent's briefs, Trustee Clifford mentioned them. How many of you received the superintendent's briefs? Raise your hand in the air, wave it like you just don't care. Mr. Rivers, we need you to receive them. Incredible information. Who else? You don't receive them? We need you, it's just a matter of your email, and then they'll get out. So whoever is not receiving them, if they would just give your email address to our board clerk, she can add you to it. The buzz is out there regarding these briefs, and I'm telling you, they are chock full of fabulous information and just really good stuff. And they're so timely because they're hot off the press. They come out twice a week, and it's really great information. Friday night lights continue to occur. Young people, hundreds of young people come to the Poughkeepsie Middle School on Fridays. Trustee Long has been actively involved in that, and Natasha Cherry, and just hundreds, literally hundreds of there's so many different activities that take place. So we want to encourage individuals to volunteer their time, and for individuals that can you don't have to do it consistently, but as you are available, if you want to spend time helping out, that's great. The superintendent has already put in place additional pay recommended, and the board has approved additional paid staff members to be a part of it. And the thing is just growing in leaps and bounds. They provide food. It's just an amazing piece. And so when people are complaining in the city of Poughkeepsie saying there's nothing for young people to do, that's not accurate. The school district is serving essentially as a community center in every sense of the word, and not just on Fridays, but throughout the week, a variety of things are occurring. So we want to continue that program. It's just a really great program. We got to do a better job. I didn't know about the concert at the Barnavon. Trustee
either.
Clifford and Dr. Rosser didn't know about the concert at the Barnavon. So we got to do a better job of informing, because I was off the road today, ironically, and I would have plugged into that. I've plugged into it many times.
Well, I also didn't find out about it until yesterday.
Okay. So we got to do a better
But it
job.
has been on the Bardavon website. So,
Yeah,
yeah, we
but,
do have to do a better job.
Yeah. Specific to school, I wouldn't have a reason to go to the Barnavon website, not generally speaking. But, so we need to make sure, certainly something like that, the superintendent, I'm sure, would have loved to have attended that, and we got to do it. And final remark is, this is the Pioneer Post, and this is a student newspaper. We've always, even when I was in school, there was a student newspaper. And I'm telling you, I just did a superficial pass of this at home, and what caught me, I have this already at home, was PHS blood donations not in vain, VEIN, the play on with words. I just thought it was very clever and cunning. And then the top, it says, "Watch your head. Dress code changes impact student options." So these young people are doing their thing. Senior T-shirt, up in arms. How fabulous. Come on, these are Poughkeepsie's finest, and journalists, future journalists perhaps. So we want to continue. If you're not receiving the Pioneer Post and you would like to, let our board clerk know, and she can make sure that you understand the process in order to obtain it.
If I can mention that one of the things that Ms. Torres will be doing as well is we have secured an electronic version of the Poughkeepsie
Pioneer Post.
Excuse me, thank you, Pioneer Post, which will be uploaded to our website. So for those of you who may not be able to have access to the paper copy, there will be opportunity for you to access the electronic version online.
Excellent. Are there any other comments from the board? So before I close that, I like to use a little expression or something. So there's an adage, it just popped in my head now, so I'll just throw it out there. Is success is the gift you give to yourself when you fulfill the dreams in your heart. And one of the things under Dr. Rosser's leadership and under this board, it's just amazing, is that we talk about being champions for children, and we genuinely believe that our children's, one, that they're currently successful, and two, that they can be even more successful. And so we want our young people to dream big dreams. We want them to know that the sky is not the limit. And we want to first be first partakers of that. So within our own selves, I call it putting the mirror on ourselves. In order for us to continue to positively impact them, we must continue to nurture ourselves and to inspect what we expect. So that being said, is there a motion to adjourn out of our meeting on this evening, Wednesday, November 6, 2019?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you also very much for coming out. Get home safely.